When Owen asked me to visit an art museum with him, I wanted to say yes. Instead, one sentence from another man came back to me. I always want someone new. That sentence had changed the way I looked at men. It had also changed the way I looked at myself. My name is Hannah. I was 29 then, and I lived in a quiet suburb outside Columbus, Ohio. My apartment was small, but it had a bright kitchen window and enough space for my cat, Pepper, to run from room to room. Every morning, I took the number 12 bus to a local credit union. I worked at the front desk. I welcomed customers, checked their appointments, and helped them with forms. The job was not exciting, but I liked the order of it. Numbers went into the right boxes. Names went on the right lines. Problems usually had clear answers. Most of my friends were married or engaged. When people asked why I was still single, I said I enjoyed my quiet life. That was true, but deep inside, I still hoped to meet someone honest. At the credit union, there was a loan officer named Marcus. He was 36, tall, and always well-dressed. He remembered customers' names and knew how to make nervous people laugh. Marcus had joined our office the year before. He did not wear a wedding ring, and everyone said he was single. We often talked in the break room about coffee, traffic, and work. He listened carefully, which made him seem different. One rainy Friday, a customer brought us a loan file with several missing papers. The office closed at 6, but I stayed to finish the work. Most of the lights were off. Rain tapped against the windows, and the parking lot was almost empty. Marcus came out of his office with 2 cups of coffee. "You are still here?" he asked. "I could ask you the same thing," I said. He placed 1 cup beside me and sat down. For 20 minutes, we checked dates, signatures, and account numbers. Then he stopped looking at the papers. "Hannah, do you think people can really change?" he asked. His voice was quiet. It did not sound like a joke. "I think they can," I said. "But they have to want it." He turned the coffee cup in his hands. Then he said something I did not expect. "I have never been good at staying loyal." At first, I thought he meant he often changed jobs or friendships. Then he explained. "When I am with a woman, I still talk to other women. Sometimes I hide it. Sometimes I tell myself it is harmless." The room suddenly felt colder. "Do you mean flirting?" I asked. "Sometimes more than flirting." I looked at him, but he kept his eyes on the table. He said he cared about the women he dated, but after some time, he wanted attention from someone new. I did not know if he wanted advice, sympathy, or permission. "Have you ever tried to stop?" I asked. "I try," he said. "But it is hard." I felt anger rise in my chest. "Hard is not the same as impossible," I said. "You still make the choice." He looked up then. His face became serious. "You make it sound simple." "It is simple," I replied. "Do not promise loyalty if you do not want to give it." Neither of us spoke for a while. Outside, a bus moved through the rain. Its lights passed across the dark windows and disappeared. Marcus finally stood up. "I should go," he said. He left his empty coffee cup on the table. The next Monday, he acted as if the conversation had never happened. For a few days, I wondered if I had been too direct. Then I asked him one more question. We were alone near the copy room when I said, "You told me you had a serious relationship before. What happened?" His smile disappeared. He told me about a woman named Teresa. She was older than him and had 4 children from earlier relationships. Marcus had lived with her for almost 10 years. They had bought a small house and shared bills, holidays, and family problems. "For 10 years?" I asked. He nodded. "That is a long time." "It was," he said. "What ended it?" He looked toward the hallway. "She sold her part of the house and left." "That is what she did," I said. But why? He did not answer. I watched his face, and I understood. Did she find out about the other women? His eyes moved back to mine. That was enough. I felt disappointed, even though he had never promised me anything. You did not lose her because relationships are difficult, I said. You lost her because she could not trust you. His jaw became tight. You do not know everything. No, I said. But I know she stayed for 10 years. She probably gave you many chances. Marcus walked away without another word. After that, he stopped coming to my desk. He no longer brought coffee into the break room when I was there. If I entered a group conversation, he found a reason to leave. At first, his silence hurt me. I had thought we were friends. I had also believed he respected my honesty. Then I began to understand that Marcus did not want honesty. He wanted comfort. He wanted someone to tell him that his behavior was not really his fault. Summer arrived. I continued working and smiling at customers, but something inside me had changed. I saw how easily kind words could hide selfish actions. One Saturday, I met my friend Elena at a small cafe near the library. We had known each other since college. We sat outside with iced tea and sandwiches. Then Elena said, "I met someone from your office last weekend. Marcus." My hand stopped above my glass. He was at a birthday party with a young woman, she continued. I think they are dating. I tried to sound calm. What was she like? Very pretty. Friendly too. Her name might be Lily. Elena studied my face. Did something happen between you and Marcus? No, I said. Nothing happened. That was true, but it was not the whole truth. I had never been in love with Marcus. Still, I had liked the person I thought he was. After lunch, I walked home and kept thinking about Lily. Did she know what Marcus had told me? Did she know about Teresa? Did she know he became bored and looked for someone new? Part of me wanted to find her and warn her. Another part of me knew that a warning from a stranger might sound jealous or cruel. On Monday morning, I saw Lily for the first time. She was waiting outside the credit union in a yellow dress. When Marcus came through the door, she smiled and touched his arm. He looked happy. He kissed her cheek before walking inside. Later, he passed my desk. Your girlfriend seems nice, I said. He stopped. She is. Does she know about your past? His eyes became hard. That is none of your business. You made it my business when you told me. I told you because I trusted you. No, I said quietly. You told me because you wanted me to excuse you. His face changed, but he said nothing. For the rest of the day, I wondered whether I had crossed a line. Still, Lily was trusting a man who had already admitted he might hurt her. A week later, I saw them arguing near the parking lot. Lily stood beside her car with her arms folded. Marcus spoke quickly and pointed at his phone. I could not hear the words, but I saw tears in her eyes. For 1 second, she looked toward the building. Our eyes met through the glass door. I almost walked outside. But I stayed where I was. That choice bothered me for many nights. A warning might save her, or it might sound like jealousy. In the end, I did nothing. There was no perfect answer. The situation made me tired. I did not want Marcus, but I hated the power his secret had over my thoughts. So I began to build a life that had nothing to do with him. I joined a Saturday painting class at a community center. My first picture was terrible. The tree looked like a green cloud, and the house leaned to one side. I laughed harder than I had laughed in months. I visited my parents more often and read by the window at night. Little by little, my mind became quieter. Then our manager started a project for young adults who were opening their first bank accounts. I was asked to work with 3 other employees. One of them was Owen. Owen was 32 and worked in customer education. He was not loud or charming in the way Marcus was. He spoke slowly. He asked clear questions. When someone else talked, he did not look at his phone. During our first meeting, he admitted that one part of his plan was confusing. "Hannah, you explain things simply. Would you look at it?" His honesty surprised me. Over the next 3 weeks, we made simple guides about saving money and avoiding fees. Our conversations were easy. One morning, Owen saw a photo of Pepper on my desk. "Is that your cat?" he asked. "Yes. She thinks the apartment belongs to her." She is probably right. The next day, he brought me a small bag of cat treats. "I saw these near the checkout counter," he said. "I hope Pepper approves." It was a small act. Still, I noticed that he remembered something I had said. A few days later, he placed green tea beside my keyboard. "Try something different," he said. "Different things have not always been good for me." He did not ask for details. He only smiled and said, "Not every new thing is dangerous." That sentence stayed with me. For months, I had called my distance peace. But maybe part of it was fear. It was easy to avoid lies when I avoided closeness. Owen never pushed me. When the project ended, he still stopped by my desk. Sometimes we talked for 2 minutes. Sometimes we only smiled. Early autumn came. The trees turned orange, and cold air entered through the office doors each morning. Marcus and Lily were still together, but they no longer looked happy. One afternoon, Lily came into the credit union alone. She asked to speak with Marcus, but he was out at lunch. When she saw me, she seemed to recognize me from the parking lot. "You work with Marcus, right?" she asked. "Yes." She held her phone tightly. "Can I ask you something?" My heart began to beat faster. Before she could continue, Marcus walked through the front door. He saw us together and hurried over. "Lily, I thought we were meeting later." She looked at him, then at me. "Never mind," she said. She left without another word. Marcus turned toward me. "What did you tell her?" "Nothing." He stared at me as if he did not believe me. For the first time, I was not afraid of his anger. "You are worried because you know there is something to tell," I said. He walked away. 2 weeks later, Lily stopped coming. Marcus became quiet. He missed meetings and made simple mistakes. No one told me what had happened, but I could guess. I did not feel pleased. I only felt sad. A person can lose the same thing many times and still refuse to learn why. Around that time, Owen asked me to visit a new art show at the City Museum. That was the moment when Marcus's old sentence returned to me. "I always want someone new." I looked at Owen and almost said no. He must have seen the fear on my face because he added, "It is only a museum. No pressure." I took a breath. "Okay," I said. "I would like to go." We met on a Sunday afternoon. The museum was bright and quiet, and Owen did not fill every silence with words. In front of one painting, he asked, "What do you see?" "A woman waiting for someone," I said. He looked again. "I see a woman deciding whether to leave." We both laughed. After the museum, we bought tea. Then Owen said, "You are careful with people." I looked down at my cup. "I have seen what happens when people trust the wrong person." "That makes sense," he said. He did not tell me to relax. He did not say he was different. He did not ask me to trust him. That made me feel safer than any promise could. We walked back to the parking garage as the sun went down. Before leaving, he said, "I had a good time." So did I. "Can I ask you again sometime?" I smiled. "Yes. But slowly. Slowly is fine." That night, I sat by my window with Pepper in my lap and thought about everything that had happened. For a long time, I had believed trust was something another person gave me. If they were kind enough, honest enough, or patient enough, I would feel safe. Now I understood that trust also began inside me. I had to trust my own eyes, my own voice, and my strength to leave when respect disappeared. Being alone was not failure. But hiding forever was not freedom either. I did not suddenly believe every man was honest. I did not suddenly forget what Marcus had shown me. I simply stopped allowing one dishonest man to decide the meaning of every future relationship. Months later, Owen and I were still moving slowly. He never asked me to become smaller, and he never disappeared when I disagreed with him. Trust did not arrive like lightning. It came when he kept his word, admitted mistakes, and listened without trying to control me. One Sunday, my mother asked whether I was seeing anyone. "I am getting to know someone," I said. "Does he make you happy?" I thought for a moment. "He does not make me afraid." My mother reached across the table and held my hand. "That is a good beginning," she said. She was right. I still loved my quiet apartment, my painting class, my books, and my evenings with Pepper. Owen was not there to complete my life. My life was already mine. He was simply someone I was choosing to let into it, one honest step at a time. It was still hard for me to trust men. But hard did not mean impossible.